Welcome back to the cutting board. In our very first episode, we had Becky with us, and she showed us how to make carrot hot dogs. And today, Becky's gonna be introducing me to jackfruit. Now, I have never cooked with jackfruit, so I'm gonna be learning today how to use this. What are we making with jackfruit?
Okay, so the recipe today is a vegan pulled pork sandwich. So we'll be using jackfruit as the pulled pork. So It's very easy. So you want to go and buy a can of young green jackfruit in water. You don't want it in syrup or brine, so just make sure it says in water.
Those would add flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And we want it to be as blank of a canvas as possible for our barbecue sauce. Okay. All you do is open the can and drain it, and then you'll get little triangles like this. And then, so it's very easy. All you do is grip the middle, and then you essentially start to pull your pork apart.
All right, look at that.
So what you'll find is that there are little seed pods in there.
Okay, like this guy here.
Yeah, so you want to remove those because they're really chewy and really fibrous, and we don't want those in our pulled pork. So you just dump that to the side. So this is great to do with kids because you're just pulling stuff apart.
Just pulling it apart.
And it's super easy.
All right, so this bottom part I'm also gonna get rid of, right?
Yes. So anything that you wouldn't want to bite into, you dump it.
So hold on to that and just pull it apart.
Just pull it apart. And the jackfruit in its natural state doesn't really have taste. It kind of reminds me of hearts of palm.
Palmitos.
Yeah, so it pretty much will pick up any flavor you add to it, which is why we're gonna make a really delicious barbecue sauce, and it soaks up the flavor, and you fool almost anybody into believing that this is the real thing.
All right, I've never worked with jackfruit, so I'm gonna try some. Yeah, it's not bland, but it's
devoid of like
canvas.
a distinct flavor.
Yeah.
So it's perfect to pick up.
So this is gonna absorb the flavors from the barbecue sauce that we're gonna make later on.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect.
So this will generally feed about 4 people, as long as you have other sides. But if you eat as much as me and my husband, it'll only feed 2. So now that I've finished up my last piece, I'm just gonna go back through and pull apart a couple of the bigger pieces.
Okay, what are we gonna do with this?
So that we can just toss. We won't use that at all.
All right.
And something that you can do if you want to add extra texture to this is you can throw this on the fire right away and heat it up, and it actually will mimic the texture of pulled pork a little bit more. And then once that has kind of crisped up a tiny bit, that's when we'll add our barbecue sauce and then heat it through, and then it'll be ready. Super easy.
So our next step is to make the barbecue sauce.
Yes, so now that we're done pulling our pork, we can start on the barbecue sauce.
All right. What's going inside our barbecue sauce?
Okay, so we have minced garlic, smoked paprika, liquid aminos. You could also use soy sauce. You could also use tamari, tomato paste, apple cider vinegar, maple syrup, water, and some neutral oil.
All right, so basically this is all just getting combined together.
So yeah, this step is super complicated. You just dump everything in one bowl.
Right.
So this is 3 cloves of garlic. You want to finely mince it. Thank you. Then we have our smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons.
Okay.
Then we have our 1/4 cup of liquid aminos, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar.
I'm assuming the flavor is gonna
Yes,
get
you
lost
won't
in there.
taste the apple cider vinegar. And then we have 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, which will bring in a really great sweet undertone. 1/4 cup of water. And then about 1 tablespoon of oil. And then you just mix it up. So the great thing about this barbecue sauce is you don't necessarily have to reduce it. A lot of barbecue sauces, you need to reduce it to make it really thick. But for this recipe, we don't have to do that. And you can also use this as a marinade. Tofu, veggies, put them on the grill. It's got an amazing smokiness to it.
Now, could you reduce this?
You could, absolutely. You could totally reduce this, make it a lot thicker. But for our recipe, we don't need to. So then you'll literally just take that, and then you'll pour it right over your pulled jackfruit. And then you'll just completely mix it in. And you want to make sure you coat every single piece of jackfruit because you really want this barbecue sauce to cover everything and to really soak into the jackfruit.
And how long are we gonna keep this on the heat?
It doesn't have to be very long, so you want to put it over probably a medium to high heat, and then just keep an eye on it to make sure it doesn't burn or stick. And then as soon as it's heated through, we're good to make our sandwich. But before that, we just want to make a really delicious coleslaw because the mayo in the coleslaw will offset the tang of the barbecue sauce.
All right, so I'll watch this while you make the coleslaw. So this has started to heat through and you can hear it bubbling. We're gonna keep it going and we're just gonna keep scraping from the bottom because it will reduce a bit.
Yes, because the water evaporates, it will get thicker. So what we're gonna do in the meantime is make our coleslaw. So it's very simple. We have 2 cups of cabbage. And then we have half of a large onion. Now you can use any type of onion you like. I'm using white. And then this is about 2/3 cup of shredded carrots. And then we're gonna do mayo to taste. So if you like more, you can add more. If you prefer less, it's really up to you.
Now this particular mayo is the mayo from our recipe and it has a lot of flavor already, so that's why we're not adding any other seasonings or spices to this.
Right, and on top of that too, the barbecue sauce is so full of flavor that you want the neutral from the mayo so that they're not fighting each other. Because then otherwise it's just very overpowering.
So the sandwich that we're making is gonna combine this with this.
Right.
And then I'm gonna get to eat it.
Then we eat it, which is the best part.
Which is the best part.
Is that enough mayo? You want more?
You can put a little more in.
So it's looking like our coleslaw is evenly coated. So as soon as our jackfruit's done, we're ready to make our sandwiches. So the way you know that your pulled jackfruit is done is look at the amount of liquid that's still left in the pan. There should be some, but it shouldn't be swimming in the barbecue sauce. So now we get to make our sandwiches. So all we do is do a good layer of the coleslaw on the bottom. And of course, you can always add or decrease as you see fit. We're gonna do a healthy serving. And then we take our jackfruit and dump it on top.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, pretty amazing. When you try it, you'll be pretty surprised.
So that's it, right?
That's it. I mean, you can add any other ingredients later on if you want to experiment, but that's pretty much it.
And take a look at this right here. So, looks delicious.
Lots of colors, lots of flavors.
Lots of colors, lots of flavors. I'm ready, are you?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Oh, look at that.
It gets really messy.
That is so delicious.
I love the coleslaw.
The coleslaw, not only does it add flavor, the mayo, but it also adds great texture.
The
you
crunch.
get that crunch. That crunch. This is so delicious. Becky, thank you so much for coming back.
My pleasure.
Please join us again on the cutting board. Like us and subscribe.